The great halls of the Galactic Council were alive with voices. Aliens from 100 worlds argued and shouted, their glowing eyes and strange faces reflecting anger. For many years the Council had sent messages to Earth, but Earth never answered. Every call, every signal, every request was met with silence. To some races, this silence was a sign of weakness. They believed humans had destroyed themselves in wars, or maybe their world had fallen into chaos. Others thought Earth was too primitive to join the Council. "Why should we waste time with a small blue planet?" they whispered. But a few elders, old and cautious, warned that silence could also mean danger. From the Council chamber, massive holograms showed Earth floating in space. It looked quiet, too quiet, with no starships flying, no trade routes connected, but something strange circled the planet. Machines, thousands of them, drifting in perfect orbits, glowing with silent light. They were like guardians, standing watch over the world below. A young alien envoy leaned forward, his voice sharp. "If Earth will not answer, then we must force them. No race can ignore the Galactic Council, not for this long. If humans are gone, then the planet is free to take." Others cheered, their voices rising like thunder, but deep in the shadows of the chamber, an elder spoke slowly. "Do not be blind, my friends. Look carefully at the machines around Earth. They are not broken. They are not old. They are alive, active, and watching. Something waits there, and we do not understand it yet." The younger races laughed, but their laughter was uneasy. For all their pride, none of them dared to touch those orbiting machines. The record showed that once, long ago, a curious ship had approached too close. That ship was never seen again. Its signal vanished, its crew lost, its name erased from the stars. Still, ambition pushed. Many voices forward, a wealthy merchant lord shouted, "Earth sits in the middle of trade routes. It has resources, oceans, and land. If humans are too foolish to answer, then we should take it. Those machines are only warnings, a bluff to scare the weak-minded." But even as he spoke, the chamber's lights flickered. A new report arrived, carried by trembling messengers. Another scout ship had tried to scan Earth's orbit. The ship was gone, not destroyed in battle, not captured, simply gone. No wreckage, no message, no escape pods. Just silence, the same silence Earth always gave. The Council grew quiet. For a moment, the hall was filled only with the sound of breathing. Everyone looked again at the image of Earth. Blue oceans, white clouds, green lands. It looked so peaceful, so harmless. But around it, the machines glowed like the eyes of a predator waiting in the dark. Whispers spread among the delegates. "What if Earth is not weak? What if they are stronger than us all?" "Impossible," others hissed back. But doubt had entered their hearts. The elder who had spoken before leaned closer to the light. His voice was a whisper, yet it cut through the silence. "Remember this. When a race does not answer, it does not always mean they are gone. Sometimes it means they are listening and waiting for the right moment to speak." The chamber fell into argument again. Some demanded action, others begged for patience. But none of them noticed that far away, on the edge of the galaxy, human eyes were already watching. For Earth was silent, yes, but silence is not the same as weakness. The machines around the planet pulsed once, a ripple of light moving across their metal skins. It was as if they had heard the Council's debate, as if they were waiting for the next move. The galaxy wondered, why does Earth ignore every call, and why do the warnings grow stronger each year? In the end, the Council sent one more message, a signal filled with threats and demands, but as always, Earth gave no answer. The beacons only flashed their silent light. And somewhere beyond the stars, humanity smiled. The galaxy thought Earth was asleep, but the truth was far more dangerous. Earth was awake, and Earth was waiting. The Galactic Council was no longer patient. For too many years they had waited for Earth's answer. Now the whispers of silence had turned into storms of anger. In the Grand Chamber, voices clashed like weapons. Some races demanded war, others begged for caution, but pride filled the room. "Humans insult us with their silence," shouted a reptilian leader with scales that shone like fire. "Every race answers the Council. Every race obeys the law of the stars. If Earth refuses, then Earth must be punished." The words echoed across the chamber. Many cheered, their claws and wings beating the air, but not all agreed. A few remembered the ships that had vanished. They remembered the glowing machines in orbit, machines that gave no warnings, no mercy, only silence. Still, anger was louder than fear. The council voted they would send scouts. Not one ship this time, but five. 5 fast ships from 5 different races. Each was ordered to test the human world. Each was told to ignore the beacons and fly closer. The galaxy held its breath. Would Earth answer at last? Or would the beacons remain only as empty threats? The first ship approached Earth's orbit. Its captain laughed. "These machines are nothing but ghosts. Humans are gone. We will claim the planet for ourselves." He pushed his ship closer. The beacon ahead glowed once, and then his ship was gone. No explosion, no fire, just gone. One moment there, the next moment erased. The second ship tried a different way. It sent drones forward. The drones circled near the beacons. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, like shadows waking from sleep, 10 smaller machines flew out of the beacon. They tore the drones apart with light so bright it burned even through council sensors. The second ship fled before the same fate met its crew. The third ship lasted longer. Its captain was clever. He circled Earth from a distance, scanning, searching. But the closer he looked, the stranger things became. The beacons were not old. They were new, freshly built, their energy cores burning with power. Someone had maintained them. Someone had armed them. The captain whispered to his crew, "Humans are not gone. They are here watching. We are the ones being studied." Before he could send his full report, his ship froze. Every system shut down. The last thing his crew saw was the light of a beacon shining into their ship like an eye. Then silence. The fourth ship tried to be bold. It fired at a beacon. A missile of plasma ripped through the void. It struck the machine. For a moment, the beacon vanished into smoke. The crew shouted with triumph. But when the smoke cleared, the beacon was whole again. Not damaged, not even scratched. As if time itself had repaired it. The beacon pulsed once, and the fourth ship turned to dust. Only the fifth ship survived. Its captain was young, nervous, and afraid. He never fired, never scanned, never moved close. He only drifted near the edge of Earth's space, and the beacon let him live. When he returned, his face was pale, his voice shaking. "They let me go. They wanted me to bring back a message." The chamber grew still. A message? From Earth? The council demanded to know, but the captain only repeated what he heard. It was not in words, but in feeling, a single command that filled his mind: stay away. Fear returned to the council. The anger that had burned so bright began to flicker, but pride is dangerous, and many could not accept defeat. "This is impossible," one shouted. "No race can resist us forever. Humans are weak. They cannot hide behind machines forever." Others agreed, their pride too. Heavy to admit fear, but in the shadows, the elder spoke again. "You see what has happened. 5 ships sent, 4 destroyed, 1 allowed to live only to spread fear. This is no accident. This is a warning." The council broke into chaos again. Some called for war, some demanded peace, but all of them knew one truth: Earth was not weak, Earth was dangerous, and Earth was waiting. The galaxy had tested Earth, and Earth had answered with silence sharper than any blade. Now the question was no longer, why does Earth ignore us? The question was, what will Earth do when we no longer listen? Far away in the dark of space, the beacons pulsed again, like a heartbeat, like the breathing of something alive, watching, waiting, preparing. And the galaxy, full of fear and pride, did not yet understand that this silence was not the end, it was only the beginning. The council chamber was restless. 5 ships had gone, and only 1 returned. 4 lost to silence, 1 spared only to bring a warning. The message was clear: stay away. Yet pride is a dangerous poison, and pride still ruled many hearts. Scientists from many worlds studied the data. The beacons around Earth were not simple machines. They carried languages carved into their steel, warnings written in alien tongues that no human should have known. Each one said the same thing: do not enter, Earth is watching. The council asked, how could humans write in the languages of races they never met? Some claimed it was a trick. Others whispered that humans had learned too much, too fast. But one truth was certain: the warnings were alive. Each time a ship approached, the machines changed. New words, new signals, as if adapting. As if speaking directly to each intruder, the mystery deepened when an old record was uncovered. Centuries ago, a forgotten fleet had tried to claim Earth. Their logs spoke of lights in the sky, beacons that turned day into night, and then, nothing. The entire fleet vanished. Their empire collapsed soon after, and their story was buried in history. Now the same way. Yearnings had returned. Whispers filled the galaxy. What if humans are not alone? What if something else guards them? Some feared Earth had found allies beyond the known stars. Others believed Earth itself had changed, that the planet was no longer only a home, but a weapon. One bold captain could not resist the mystery. His name was Kale, from a race that valued honor above all. To him, silence was weakness. He swore to prove Earth was nothing but an empty shell. He gathered his crew. We will fly closer than anyone before. We will break through their lies, and when we return, the galaxy will know the truth. His ship entered Earth's shadow. The beacons pulsed as always, but Kale did not stop. He moved past one, past two, past three. Each machine turned slowly, watching his ship like an eye. His crew begged him to turn back, but Kale only laughed. They cannot harm us all. They are machines, nothing more. At first, nothing happened. Then the stars around them bent. The crew screamed as their sensors twisted. One moment they saw Earth below. The next they saw something else. Not a planet, not space, but a void filled with endless light. It was as if the beacons had opened a doorway to a place no living being should see. Kale's laughter died. He whispered, "What is this?" And then the voices came. Not human voices, not alien voices, but something older, deeper. The crew heard words in their own language, a single phrase repeated again and again. You were warned. The ship vanished. Not destroyed, not broken, simply erased. Its name removed from the stars, its signal gone, as if it had never existed. The council never saw Kale again. Only fragments of his last transmission survived. Images of light, voices of warning, and the sound of silence swallowing everything. Panic spread. If the beacons could erase whole ships from history, then what power did Earth truly hold? What secret was buried beneath its blue oceans and green lands? Some races wanted to flee. They argued Earth should be left untouched forever, but others grew more curious. They whispered of treasures, of knowledge, of power. What if Earth has found the key to controlling time itself? What if the silence hides a weapon greater than the Council has ever seen? Greed began to burn brighter than fear. The mystery of the warnings was no longer a shield. It was bait, and the galaxy was hungry. The elder who had spoken before stood once more, his voice heavy with sorrow. You do not understand. Humans are not asking for peace. They are asking for distance. You think their silence means weakness, but their silence is a wall, and behind that wall is something we should never wake. But his warnings were drowned by ambition. The council decided they would not stop. If smaller ships failed, then they would send a fleet strong enough to crush any defense, a fleet powerful enough to claim Earth once and for all. And far away, orbiting the quiet blue planet, the beacons pulsed again. Their lights grew brighter, their voices louder, as if they already knew what was coming. As if they had been waiting all along. For Earth was not answering, but Earth was listening. And soon, Earth would reply. The decision was made. The council would not stop. If small ships were erased, then they would send larger ones. If warnings appeared, then they would crush those warnings with fire. Pride demanded action, and pride is heavier than wisdom. Whispers spread through the galaxy. Every race spoke of Earth. Some feared it, some mocked it, but none could ignore it. Merchants told stories of a silent planet with guardians of steel. Soldiers whispered of ships that vanished without a trace. And old historians spoke of a darker truth. They remembered the time before Earth's silence. Centuries ago, humans had joined galactic wars as mercenaries. They had been few, but their strategies were strange, their weapons brutal, where others fought with honor, humos. Humans fought with survival, where others counted glory, humans counted victory, and wherever humans fought, enemies disappeared. Not always in battle, sometimes without reason. It was as if humans carried shadows with them. Then one day, they left. No more fleets, no more armies, no more voices, just silence. And now the silence had returned with deadly guardians. The council prepared their fleet, not 5 ships, not 10, but 50. Warships from across the stars, each armed with weapons strong enough to shatter moons. They gathered at the edge of Earth's space, their lights shining like a second galaxy. Among them, soldiers trembled. They had heard the stories, they had seen the images, ships erased, voices swallowed, yet their commanders told them not to fear. They are only machines. They cannot fight us all. Earth is empty. We will burn it and be done. But in the quiet corners of the council chamber, the elders still warned, machines do not erase history. Machines do not speak in every tongue. Machines do not bend the stars. This is not technology alone. This is something older, something human. The fleet advanced. Beacons turned slowly, one by one. Their lights grew brighter, pulsing in rhythm, a heartbeat in the dark. The commanders ignored them. They ordered their ships forward, closer, closer into Earth's shadow. And then it happened. The stars shifted. Not just for one ship, but for all 50. Sensors screamed, data twisted. The fleet saw Earth below, but also something else. A second image, layered over the first, a black ocean of endless void, filled with structures that were not natural, colossal towers stretching through space like bones of giants, and voices whispering in the minds of every soldier. Voices that spoke in human tongues you should not have come. Panic spread through the fleet. Some tried to turn back. Others fired in blind fear. But the weapons vanished before they struck. The missiles dissolved. The beams of energy were swallowed. The more they fired, the faster their weapons disappeared. A single ship tried to escape. It jumped into faster-than-light travel. But when it reappeared, it was not in another star system. It was back where it started. Trapped. The beacons were not only weapons, they were cages. Then came the real terror. One by one, the fleet's engines died, not destroyed, not broken, but turned off. As if obeying a command, screens flickered with human symbols, not greetings, not threats, only warnings. This is your last chance. But pride still ruled. A commander shouted, "They are bluffing. Press forward. All ships fire at Earth itself." For the first time, the planet responded. Not the beacons, but Earth. From the surface, hidden cities came alive. Massive cannons rose from the oceans, lights burned through the clouds, and a voice thundered across every channel, a human voice, calm, cold, and merciless. "We asked for silence. We asked for distance. You refused." The fleet shook as power beyond imagination filled the skies. Some ships exploded instantly, torn apart by unseen hands. Others were dragged into the void of the beacons, their names erased from history in an instant. The council had sent its strongest fleet, and now that fleet was being unmade. The survivors screamed for mercy, but no answer came, only silence, the same silence Earth had always given. Back in the council chambers, news arrived in broken pieces, fragments of transmissions, half-recorded screams, fading signals of ships that no longer existed. The council was shaken. For the first time in centuries, they faced something they could not understand, and fear grew heavier than pride. Whispers filled the galaxy once more. If humans can erase fleets, what else can they do? Did they find a weapon greater than the stars themselves? Or did they become something more than human? The truth was hidden, but the silence spoke louder than any weapon. Earth was no longer seen as weak. It was seen as untouchable, a power too great to challenge. And yet, deep in the shadows of the galaxy, the humans were not finished. Their silence was not peace, it was preparation. And soon the galaxy would learn what they had been waiting for. The galaxy should have stopped. The council should have listened to fear. 50 ships gone was enough warning. But greed is louder than fear, and pride is heavier than wisdom. Rumors spread across the stars. They said Earth was not just defended. They said Earth was hiding treasures, ancient knowledge, forbidden weapons, secrets strong enough to change the balance of power forever. Merchants dreamed of wealth. Generals dreamed of glory, and rulers dreamed of control. If Earth truly held the keys to time, to power, to silence itself, then whoever claimed Earth would rule the galaxy, so the Council prepared again. Not 50 ships this time, but 500, an armada so vast it blocked out the stars. It was the greatest fleet ever assembled. Warships, carriers, dreadnoughts, each filled with soldiers and weapons. It was not just a mission, it was an invasion. The fleet gathered at the edge of Earth's system. Their commanders spoke with confidence. Machines cannot fight us all. Earth will fall, and when it does, its secrets will be ours. But among the soldiers, fear whispered. They had seen the records. They had heard the voices. They knew Earth was not like other worlds, yet orders are stronger than fear. And so the fleet advanced. The beacons woke at once, their lights flashing in unison, not random now, but patterned, like signals, like communication. Some said it looked like a countdown. 500 ships entered Earth's shadow. The beacons surrounded them, not passive, not waiting, but moving, like predators circling prey. The commanders laughed. They cannot stop us all. Fire at will. The sky burned. Thousands of weapons unleashed at once. Plasma, missiles, energy beams. The void filled with fire brighter than suns. But when the light cleared, the beacons were untouched. Not scratched, not broken. Still glowing, still counting. Then the trap closed. The beacons aligned. Energy surged between them. Lines of light formed a vast cage around the fleet. The soldiers screamed as space itself shifted. They were trapped, not in orbit, not in space, but in something else, something humans had built, a prison between reality and void. Ships tried to run, engines fired, faster than light drives screamed, but no one escaped. Every ship that jumped returned to the same place. The cage bent the stars. It bent time. It bent hope. Then the voices came again, human voices, calm and endless. We gave you silence. We gave you warnings. You would not listen. The commanders shouted, "Fight harder, destroy the cage." But the more they fought, the stronger the cage became. Their weapons fed it. Their power became its power. The soldiers realized too late. They were not fighting the beacons. They were powering them. One by one, ships vanished, not burned, not broken, erased, names deleted from history, worlds forgetting they had ever existed. Even families back home lost their memory of the soldiers who served, as if they had never been born. Panic spread like wildfire. Some begged for mercy. Some destroyed their own ships rather than be taken. But nothing mattered. The cage was absolute. In the council chambers, watchers trembled as the signals came. They saw the armada vanish in silence. 500 ships gone in a single night, an entire fleet erased. The galaxy gasped in horror. They had wanted Earth's secrets, but Earth had shown them a truth instead. Humans were not only defending, humans were hunting. They had set a trap, and the galaxy had walked straight into it. From the ruins of the fleet, one ship returned, a broken vessel drifting through space, its crew half mad, their eyes empty. They whispered a final warning. They are not silent, because they are weak. They are silent because they are waiting, and when they return, nothing will stop them. The council froze in fear, for the galaxy now knew the truth. Earth was not ignoring the galaxy. Earth was studying it, testing it, preparing for something far greater. The trap was not only for ships, it was for the entire galaxy, and no one knew when it would close again. Far below, on the quiet blue planet, the oceans glowed with hidden lights, the continents pulsed with power, and the beacons whispered to each other. Their silence was almost laughter, for humanity had played its hand, and the galaxy had taken the bait. The galaxy was broken. 500 ships gone, entire fleets erased without fire, without wreckage. The council halls were silent. No one shouted now. No one demanded war. Fear had replaced pride, and yet, questions still burned. What was Earth hiding? Why did it stay silent for centuries? Why had humans left warnings instead of words? Desperate for answers, the council sent no more fleets. Instead, they sent spies, small cloaked probes, invisible to the eye. These machines drifted near Earth, careful, cautious, silent, hoping to see without being seen. For weeks they watched. They saw oceans rolling, forests breathing, but cities looked abandoned. No ships left the planet, no voices spoke. It was as if the humans were gone, and yet the beacons still pulsed, always pulsing, like a heartbeat too steady to be empty. Then one night, everything changed. One beacon shifted. Its lights flared brighter than before. The probes caught something they had never seen, a door opening in the void, not a hatch, not a gate, but space itself folding, and from within came a voice. It was human, cold, calm, steady. You were warned. The spies trembled, their machines nearly shutting down, but the voice continued. You called us, you demanded us, you threatened us. We gave you silence, we gave you distance, you gave us war. Across the galaxy, every channel flickered, every world saw the same message. Every ship, every station, every mind. The humans were no longer silent. Their voice reached everywhere at once. You believe we are gone? But we are not gone. We are not weak. We are not sleeping. Images appeared, not of Earth now, but of what it had been. Human armies marching in alien wars. Human fleets burning through the void. Humans fighting with desperation, with fury, with cunning. And always, always victorious. The Council trembled as the message continued. We left because the galaxy was not ready. We left because you feared us. We left because silence was safer than war. Then the images changed again. Now they showed the fleets that had attacked Earth. 50 ships, 500 ships, vanishing into light, one by one gone. The Council saw their pride erased before their eyes. The voice grew louder. We asked for silence, you refused. We asked for distance, you invaded. Now hear this. Earth is watching, Earth remembers, and Earth does not forgive. The galaxy froze. Billions of beings watching, hearts pounding, breath held. Then came the final horror. One beacon turned toward the Council chamber itself. Its light pulsed, and every leader felt it. Not just sound, but thought. Not just words, but presence. As if humanity stood right beside them, watching them, judging them. A final message burned across every star map. This is your last chance. Stay away, or we will return. And then silence. The beacons dimmed. The message ended, but the fear did not. The Council was shaken to its core. Some demanded surrender. Leave Earth alone forever. Let them keep their silence. Others trembled with greed. What if they hold the secret of immortality? What if their power could be ours? The chamber split, fear against pride, wisdom against greed. But far away, on Earth itself, something stirred. The oceans glowed, the lands shifted, hidden cities rose like ghosts. From beneath the ground, and in the dark of space, the beacons whispered to each other. Not warnings this time, but preparation. For the galaxy thought the humans were only guarding their world, but the truth was greater. Humans were not only protecting, they were waiting, and soon the waiting would end. The galaxy was never the same after Earth's message. Worlds lived in fear, fleets stayed away from the blue planet, merchants changed their routes, soldiers spoke of humans as shadows, and leaders whispered of a power no one dared to touch. But silence is a seed. It grows into questions, and questions grow into hunger. Some rulers could not resist. They sent spies again, not to attack but to watch, to learn what Earth was hiding. The spies returned with strange reports. They said Earth was alive but empty. Forests thrived, oceans shined, but cities slept. Towers stood tall yet abandoned. Machines worked, but no humans were seen. It was as if the planet itself was the guardian, and humanity had vanished. The Council gathered once more. Some believed humans had truly died, that only their machines remained, but others shook their heads. No, humans are not gone. They are hiding. They are planning. Then a discovery shattered every doubt. A forgotten probe, drifting beyond the edge of the galaxy, picked up a signal, not from Earth but from beyond, from the dark between galaxies. The signal carried human voices, clear, strong, and endless. We are not on Earth. We are not in your skies. We are far beyond, building where your eyes cannot reach. The Council trembled, for the truth was revealed. Earth's silence was never about weakness. It was never about fear. It was because humanity had already left. The beacons were not their only defense. They were only guardians, left behind to protect a memory, a warning, a promise. The humans had gone farther, beyond the galaxy's edge, beyond the reach of Council fleets. Building in the dark, watching, waiting, becoming something greater than the galaxy itself. The message continued. We gave you silence because we no longer needed your voices. We gave you distance because we no longer needed your stars. We left warnings because we knew your pride. And now you see what happens when you ignore them. Images flickered across every world, massive structures floating in the black between galaxies, ships larger than moons, cities hanging in the void, and figures, human figures, walking among stars as if they were roads. The galaxy froze in terror and awe. Humans had not only survived, they had evolved. They had become something beyond empires, something beyond fear, something the galaxy could never control. The final words echoed like thunder across the stars. We are not silent because we are weak. We are silent because we are beyond you. We will return. And when we do, the galaxy will remember who we are. Then silence again. The signal vanished. The images faded. But the fear remained. The council fell into chaos. Some cried for surrender, some begged for alliances, and some, still blind with pride, whispered of war. But deep in their hearts, they all knew the truth. There would be no war. There would be no victory, because humanity was not gone. Humanity was ahead and far away beyond the galaxy's edge. In the dark where no council ship had ever flown, the humans looked back, their fleets hidden, their cities alive, their voices calm, and they whispered among themselves, "The galaxy is not ready, but it will learn when we return." The beacons around Earth pulsed once more, not as warnings, but as promises, silent, eternal promises, that humanity was not only